good, YouTube? It's your boy Axel Rose, the Shogun with the slogan. And if you don't know where it's been, you don't know where it's going. And I'm back, people, with another video. Yes. I know I've been gone for a minute, but you know, I've been handling that real life stuff. So I thought before, we might be giving you a podcast later on today. MMG, it's gonna be great. We're gonna be talking about all the new news that's come out surrounding this game, like the announcement of Alex and the upcoming update that will be coming in a couple of days, Monday the 28th. Now my cat's at the window, so that means it's time to begin the action. So today we're gonna be talking about Street Fighter, trying to get you introduced into playing the game. My girl's got a day off from work, so I'm gonna give her an extra hour to relax. So I get to spend the hour with you people, spending it productively, getting to teach you guys how to play, letting my cat in the house through the window. It's all going down today, it's all going down. So basically, today this is Street Fighter School, people. And it is awesome. I'm going to be taking you through, this video comes courtesy of Wolflow. You know, he gave me the idea of teaching people how to play the game. And that's what I'm going to do. Now, today I'm going to be streaming it. I'm only streaming it because of the nature of how, you know, the video is being done, you know. Like, you know what I'm saying, girls home from work and stuff. But usually, I want to make it a more condensed, more shorter lesson affair and stuff. So, basically today we're going to be working on just the basics, like movement and, you know, just general good stuff. So yeah. Really easy lessons today. We're just going to talk about the theory of Street Fighter, because a lot of people don't know how to play the game, and there's nothing wrong with not knowing how to play this game, because when you see like people actually playing, like the experts playing, or your friends which are actually good at the game playing, it just looks like they're doing a whole load of special moves, you know, getting you in combos, throwing you all over the place, you know, doing all this flashy stuff, and you're like, yo, how are they doing this stuff? I want to do this stuff, man. And I know this is the reason how they beat me. They only beat me because they could do all this cool stuff, you know. But if I could do this cool stuff too, I'd be able to beat them. And it's like, slow your roll, homie. There's a lot of stuff that the average person doesn't think about when they game. And that is what I'm going to teach you today. This is what this lesson is about. Today, this lesson is about fundamentals. Yes, there's all these cool combos that you can do, you know, coming in here, using the bar, you know. Whoops. Okay, not doing a good job of it there, but you know, there's all kinds of crazy stuff you can do in this game. And people think that's the way to win. The actual way to win is to just know your fundamentals, know the key rules to the way this game works, and then you might not always win, but you'll definitely have a better idea of what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong. So yeah. So today, introduction. So the reason why I chose Ryu, the reason why I chose Ryu is because he's like the quintessential Street Fighter archetype. He's good at everything, good at defense, good at attack, really good at attack in this game because he does loads of damage. And yeah, like he's just like the basic standard archetype for this whole game. So when you're playing this game, a lot of it is actually kind of almost higher than 50% about what your opponent is doing. Because what you should be doing is watching for your opponent to make some kind of opening for you to attack. because the best thing to do when you're playing this game is not to watch. The best thing to do when you're playing this game is not to rush in and jump all over your opponent. Yes, you do see some people get away with it, you know. You see them doing all these flash combos. Oops, he's stunned. But yeah, you usually see people doing all that good stuff, and you think, man, that is definitely the way to play. And really and truly, whenever you jump, you're vulnerable because you can't block, and you want to be able to block, because blocking stops stuff like this from happening. You see that? 3 hits and you've almost lost a quarter damage. You don't want to lose a quarter damage. So jumping attacks, even though they're a good way to get in and put pressure on the opponent, you might not always want to do that. And that leaves you vulnerable for, let me see. Okay, this is annoying. Dummy settings, great. Here we go. So yes, if you're jumping, you can't block this from happening. See, look, sure you can. And then once you've been knocked down, you're vulnerable for mix-ups, for further combos. We're going to be talking more about getting knocked down in a second. And the person doesn't always have to have the reactions to do a dragon punch. I mean, most people that you fight online, even really good people, they won't always counteract you with a dragon punch. But most characters in this game have good, regular buttons that they can press to stop you jumping in. We use hard kick. We use crouch and hard punch. Both great ways to stop airborne opponents. Look at that. Now, obviously, this Zangief isn't attacking, but even if he was, that hard kick would probably trade. Let's see. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna get Zangief to jump and hard kick. Okay. Alright. Bear with me 1 second. Okay. Oops. Sorry about this. Okay. Okay, that's interesting. Does it tell you how to record the... Okay, Capcom, I'm not even gonna go there. I'm not even gonna go there. I'm literally not even gonna go there. Hold on. Alright, if it doesn't work this time, we're just gonna move along. I will be really disappointed because it doesn't make no sense. I press every button. It should actually just be... I'm actually really surprised it's actually not the mouse to stop it. That would have been a great time to use the touchpad for something. But yeah. Okay. Hold on. I don't understand. Why it just doesn't tell you the button to actually stop the recording. Hold on, 1 sec. Let me just check how to record. This is crazy. Okay. Okay, this is crazy, people. Alright. Well, basically, I wanted to try and record my advanced dummy so I could show you the benefits of the anti-air live, but it seems like it is not working for some reason. Yay. Typical Capcom. This game. But yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. So it's playing back, yay! Okay. Cool. I set the dummy up like a jackass. Okay, cool. Okay. I set the dummy up like a jackass. Okay. Let's go. Cool. So, the dummy is set. Okay. So the dummy's doing what it wants to do. But as you can see, it's getting anti-air. As you can see, look. Whoops, okay, my timing was bad. Jumped him, puts you at real advantage. And then the more you jump in a battle, the more predictable you get. So people can stop you either way. They could even jump and attack you. Oops, that's just bad input. Sure you can. So even though jumping looks like a good option to get in and start combos, it's not always your best option. Wow, that was just a really long way to prove a point. Wow, sometimes see that? And if you press the right button, you can always anti-air. As you can see, I anti-aired with the crouch and medium there. Let's see if I can get that again. Okay, wow. Oh, very nice. There we go. Oh, an anti-air with hard kick will give you the crush counter. Ooh. Okay. See? Ooh. See? So, if you learn your anti-airing timing, you can just be a threat. So yeah, the moral of the story is jumping is cool, but don't rely on it for your be all and end all. You want to kind of just be, you kind of want to be very free flowing, but let's get back into that. Hold on. Let's sort out the recording and get the dummy back to normal. There we go. Stand. Yeah. So cool. So yeah, so now we've established that jumping is cool, but you just don't want to do it all the time. You don't want to rely on jumping as your main way to actually fight. So cool. Sorry about that taking so long. But yeah. So now, well, if you're not going to jump to beat your opponent, how are you going to beat your opponent? Well, that's where learning how to use each one of these 6 beautiful buttons comes in. Now, each character has a variety of normal attacks and stuff like that. And Ryu, being the good all-rounder that he is, he has a variety of good to, you know, great attacks. So as you can see, this is his weak punch. It doesn't have that good range, you know. You'd have to be really close to your opponent to get that to work. So if you're going back, looking back and forth with your opponent, just looking for an opening, you know, not really jumping in, not being too aggressive, you're going to be looking at buttons like his hard kick, let's say, because you don't have to be super close to do it, and he travels a little bit forward. See, I was standing back here. See, look, you can be back here, and your opponent will have to be aware of the fact that you've got that move. So what you do is you look at your opponent's normal moves and see how far back from your opponent you can be and get away with doing it, you know, and they still have to fear you. Now, one of Ryu's most potent buttons, and one of his useful ones, is his crouch and medium kick. Now, back when I was coming up and I first started playing Street Fighter, I used to love the hard kick button. It was my favorite button because I could knock people down, and I used to love the sound effect of the hard kick. It was just like crazy. But my older cousin, Ernest, he said, hey, medium kick, that is the best button in the game. And I was like, what are you talking about? how can medium kick be the best button in the game? And he was like, no, medium kick is the best button in the game. And it's because you can just do so much from that move. So if you're just going in and out, moving back and forth, not really jumping, being really cautious, you just throw out that medium kick, that crouching medium kick, you know, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And the best thing about it is if it connects. Oh, he's jumping again, he's jumping again. The best thing about it is if it connects, you can go into a combo. You can cancel it into a special move. And cancelling, the term cancelling is just, you know, cancelling as a word is just a quick term for interrupting your normal attack with a special move. So these are, remember, these 6 attacks here, you have crouching and jumping versions of them as well, your punches and kicks. Some of them can be interrupted with a special move. So that's what cancel is, basically. Cancel is just another word for interruption. See that? So here's my medium punch. And that's me cancelling the medium punch into the dragon punch. Now cancelling, all cancelling is basically just doing the command for the special move before the animation of your attack has finished. So as you can see there, I've pressed my medium punch and I've inputted the hurricane kick, and then it turns from a regular medium punch into, oops, just good stuff. But yes, I know there's a lot of people that play Street Fighter that know all that stuff already, but you know, I'm doing this for a lot of people that don't know. And to be honest, a lot of guys in the PlayStation Nation play Street Fighter like they've never played it before, so a lot of you guys in this YouTube community play Street Fighter like you've never played this game before, so yeah. Where's all of that? Sata Pijabari. I don't know why y'all are thinking you play it like that too. Shit. But anyway, combos. But yeah. So what have we gone over? So normals. We've gone over why jumping isn't always the best thing to do. I've introduced you to cancelling. Yeah. See, they've made doing commands and inputs on this game a lot easier. So when you are playing it, like before when you was playing Street Fighter, the act of cancelling was kind of a rite of passage. And to some degree, it still is when you're playing this version, but it's not as hard to do. Oops. He says as he messes it up. So yeah, some buttons, some of the normal buttons aren't cancelable. Like hard punch, you can't really cancel. So if you did, you'd have to use your V trigger to do so. Oops. See? So And hard kick, you can't cancel after that. Same thing if you want to cancel. Oops. Wrong button. Wrong button again. Yeah, so if you want to cancel from hard kick, you have to use your V trigger. But medium is usually with all characters in this game, your medium attack button, whether it be punch or kick, some characters won't be able to cancel from medium kick, like Charlie, for instance, sorry, Nash. He can't combo, he can't cancel into his special moves from his medium kick, but he can from his medium punch. Whereas characters like Ryu and Karen, they can cancel from both their medium punch and medium kick. Chun-Li, she can't cancel from her medium punch because it makes her do a slide. And yeah, it's very interesting. She can cancel from her standing medium punch, but not her crouching medium punch. Whereas both Ryu and Karen can do it. Ooh la la, ooh la la. They can do it for both standing and crouching medium. Punch or kick. Now, ooh, lost you. I haven't played this game in a while, man. It feels so fun. But yeah, a week feels like a while for me. Okay, I'm addicted. But yes, canceling from your medium buttons is what you really want to learn to do when you start playing this game, because they give you a lot more frame advantage, which is basically hit stun. As you can see, Zangief is vulnerable for a lot longer time after pressing medium punch than he is after pressing weak punch. See the way his head snaps back and the way he recovers from that. So if you was going to cancel from weak punch, your window to go into your special move would be a lot quicker. You wouldn't be able to be as relaxed. You have to be a lot quicker with your movement if you're going to cancel from weak. Where if you're cancelling from medium, you can pretty much take your time. So that's one thing to remember. But then again, there will be some times where you're playing and you're going up against your opponent and they might have just whiffed the move, they might have just missed one of their attacks, and you might only have time to get them with a weak attack. So this is where you have to work on your execution. Oops. So, because look, see this hard kick here? Zangief isn't really stunned enough for enough time for me to get him with a medium punch for me to cancel. But he is stunned for enough time for me to get him with a weak kick. So if I want to continue to combo him, I have to be able to cancel my weak kick. And if I can do that, I can lead to big damage. So learning about cancelling is really important. I'm all over the place today. Ugh, I'm really messing up. Well, you see what I mean. Let's see if I can go into weak punch. Okay, let's go too far. What do I have to do? Ooh, I'm missing that link like a mofo. There we go. So yeah, I guess you want to just practice. You want to make sure you can get that link properly. Just practice from going into the practice from going into the back hard kick into weak kick. And that's how you'll be able to get your cancels on point. Now, as far as like getting good in this game, everything comes with practice. So you just want to practice your cancels. So I know it sounds like a lot of work, but you basically want to practice canceling your normal attack into your special attack. So whether it be in a you can practice certain situations like jumping in if you really feel you must, if you are a jumping monster and you just can't get jumping out of your system. But whichever one is of the special moves is your favorite, just practice cancelling. So you practice, you might just want to press, say if you really like the Dragon Punch, practice standing medium punch into doing the move repeatedly until you can just get it on reaction. Crouch and medium kick and fireball. Until it's just a reaction. But yeah, there you have it. That was just a quick introduction to three beginning factors. I don't want to overload it today. I'm gonna revisit each one of these in its own separate video and stuff, because each one of these topics really does deserve its own video, and it'll be a lot quicker and stuff, just broken down a lot more easier to digest, and a lot more easier to digest pieces. But yes, people, you know, if you learned anything, which you should have, because, you know, okay, the only thing I didn't go over is defense, and that should be self-explanatory. But basically, yeah, you want to be defending at all times. So while you are using these 6 buttons, as I said, trying to stay within a certain range, because Ryu is good from multiple ranges. With the fireball, he can kind of force his opponent to react. So if you throw a weak one, which is slightly slower, you can run up behind it, or you can jump up behind it, you know, and make your opponent panic. Whenever you do a fireball on a screen, it forces your opponent to kind of panic, because they have to deal with both you and that fireball at the same time. But apart from them, as far as it comes to using your normal attacks, you should be basically going in and out, like just walking back and forth with your opponent, not really trying to commit too much to anything, and yeah, just trying to look for their openings to see where it's possible for you to attack. See, as you can see, now when you're at a far distance, that is when using things like your fireball become more feasible. You wouldn't want to just be close up to Zangief and just bust out your fireball, because you're that close. You'd be better off cancelling into a special move, seeing which one of your pokes, your regular attacks, you can hit him with. And when you do want to jump, you want to make sure it's a situation like that where you can basically score a big combo. You don't want to jump too often. You want to be able to keep your opponent out of your face with your until you see enough of their patterns to be able to be like, okay, now's my time to jump. And if you know the right buttons, you'll be able to stop people getting close to you and taking advantage. Ah, that's the wrong button. But you should always be efficient at this neutral game here. So just be working on your footsie neutral game. See where your opponent is weak. See where his openings are. And then once you got him down, him or her, sorry, down. Like once you got them downloaded, you know their tactics. Then you start going in. Oof. But yeah, I think that will be the end of today's lesson. We got a lot of other stuff to do today, but yes, I will be back with more Street Fighter lessons, breaking it down. Breaking down the science of this awesome game so you can learn how to beast and destroy people online like I do. You know I've been making people rage quit. So if you're seeing this and you are new to the YouTube channel, make sure you like and subscribe, all of that. If there's a certain aspect you want me to work on, I think I'll work on that, you know? Like, I know people are going to want me to do combos soon, so I'm pretty much thinking of making combos in the next video. I know people are like, go do combos, I want to know how to do combos. Like, relax, you have to know how to cancel first, because there's no point if you want to do combos if you don't know how to actually execute them. I barely know how to execute them. My combos are on fleek, son. Look at that, on point. Parrying in the middle of my combos. But yeah, make sure you like, subscribe. Woo! Look at Zangief trying to turn up the heat. No, son, no. But yeah, like, subscribe, and stay. This is the unofficial backyard Street Fighter class. Oh, see, now he wants to get busy. But yes, make sure you stay tuned for the next episode of Street Fighter School and more. Alright, peace.